Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Chug YouTube channel. Today we're going to be checking out the most important and special guitar that I own. This. Let's check it out. Alright, welcome back to the Chug YouTube channel, everybody. Allow me a moment to introduce myself. My name is DJ. I'm a guitarist from the southwest of the UK. I've been playing guitar for around about 20 years or so now. I currently play in a band called HollowKin. We're a heavy, modern, groove kind of metal band. Heavy, but with some melody and other bits and pieces into it. Always like to get a shameless plug in at the start of the video, so if you feel like checking us out, check out the description box below and you can find all the links to everything that we do. Anyway, with that shameless plug out of the way, let's get talking about this guitar right here. This guitar is the one that started it all. This is my first ever guitar. I think before we go any further, it's only right that we see if this can stand up in a full mix. So it is of course tuned to drop D. Let's see what it can do. Now, about 50% of the people that watch these videos, if my analytics are correct, are from the US of A. So the thumbnail in this video won't make much sense to you because you don't have Argos in the USA. So Argos is this weird British shop that is a bit like Walmart, I guess. It's not a supermarket. Sears? Macy's? I don't know, it's not a department store. People from the UK, how would you describe Argos? Basically, they used to have this big catalogue, but you'd go into the shop, look through the catalogue, write a code down for the thing you want, take it to the counter, they type the code in, they bring you your thing, and then you leave. It was like a mail order shop, but you went to the shop to mail order the thing and it was instant. It's a strange premise. Maybe you have something like that, maybe you don't. I've been to the States a number of times, I've never seen anything like it. But that's what Argos is. And this guitar, to the best of my knowledge, is from Argos, circa 1995-ish, maybe, I don't know. So the story goes with this guitar that I was about 15 years old and a guy that I went to secondary school with, or high school, he tells me that he's selling his guitar. He knows that I want to start learning guitar. My mum's just agreed for me to start having lessons. So I run home, I tell my mum that my friend wants to sell me their guitar and they've got the guitar for sale. He tells me it's a Fender Stratocaster. I have no idea what that is at that age, but I tell her that he's got a Fender Stratocaster. He clearly lied to me. Anyway, my mum agrees to give this kid, his name was Nick, we got on pretty well. We weren't ever really close friends, but we got on pretty well. We paid £150 for this and an amplifier. I cannot for the life of me remember what the amplifier was. I wish I could remember, because it could have been something amazing that I just had no idea that I had. Anyway, it blew up, I threw it off stage, and that was that. That was the end of that. That was the end of my first amplifier, and then I think I got an MG100 DFX combo amp after that. This guitar, I think, originates from Argos. Now, that doesn't come with high prestige or pedigree in the guitar world. However, this guitar has done me so well over the last 25 or so years that I've had it. It must be nearly 30 or so years old at this point, but I've had it for about 25 or so years. Now, obviously, I don't play it that much anymore. It's only got 6 strings. It's not exactly designed for what I do. The frets are actually surprisingly okay, but they're very small frets. But as you'll hear in some of the tone demos, it still sounds alright. It's got a bit of a mishmash of hardware in it, so let's check out some specs before we go any further. So like I said earlier in the video, to the best of my knowledge, this is an Argos guitar. Probably made by Argos or shipped into them from some random third-party company. I have no idea who, and there's nothing on it, serial numbers or anything, for me to be able to track where it was made, who it was made by, or what country it came from. One thing I know with some certainty is it's got a wooden body, it's also got a maple neck and fretboard, and it's also a 25.5-inch scale length. As far as I know, we've got a plastic nut. The tuning pegs came from Amazon, the string trees came from Amazon, the bridge came from Amazon, the scratch plate and the pickups in the neck and the middle came from Amazon. It does have a Seymour Duncan hot stack single coil pickup in the bridge, which, because I used to be into pop punk and stuff, my guitar luthier at the time, Graham, amazing guy Graham, love Graham forever. He doesn't do luthiery anymore, he's retired from that line of work, but he told me I needed this Seymour Duncan hot stack in here, and I loved it. I loved it at the time. It doesn't really serve me very well anymore, but it's always stayed in there up until this point. All the electronics are from Amazon, the pots are from Amazon. Everything on this is basically mega cheap hardware from Amazon, because a few years ago I wanted to kind of get this back to somewhere near its original kind of looks and specs, which we'll come to in a moment. So this guitar's been with me for a very long time. This is the guitar that I used right the way through school, into college. I studied up to grade 8 on this guitar. I gigged in some of my first bands with this guitar. My first band was called Monkey Chow, then a band called C4, and then I went into kind of the metal scene after that, and I had ESPs and bits and pieces, or LTDs and other guitars. So this served me well for many years, and it's always hung around. I've always got it hung around the house somewhere, not only to remind me of where I kind of started from, but also because I do pick it up and play it. Alright, I don't plug it in very often, but it's always one of those guitars that I just kind of sit around the house and kind of noodle on from time to time, and it is a lot of fun, and it still plays really well considering it's a nothing guitar. So signal chain for everything that you're going to be hearing today is going to be pretty much the same as everything else that I do. It's going to be the guitar, it's going to be going straight into my Focusrite Scarlett Solo interface, that's going to be going into GarageBand, and in GarageBand you're going to have the Neural DSP SLO 100 plugin loaded up, and in the demo track you're also going to hear the Get Good Drums One Kit Wonder metal pack. Now, of course, when I was 15, I was incredibly punk, I was incredibly cool, I was incredibly edgy like a warm tangerine, and I didn't want some old man sunburst guitar. I didn't even know what a sunburst was when I first got this. So I'll put some pictures up over the top of this of what it became, but basically I coloured the whole thing in with a black Sharpie and then just covered it with stickers like we all do when we're that age. Then a couple of years ago I decided I wanted to kind of return it to somewhere near its original form, but kind of still give it a cool edge. So I spent absolutely hours with alcohol wipes, scrubbing off as much of the Sharpie as I possibly could and taking off all the stickers and everything else to return it to its original form. I did have to then sand it back to get it kind of flat, which is why it's got this weird, it looks like it's not very well reliced. It's not that, I'm not very good with the sander, so it's just got a bit low on some points, because the plan was then to paint this a different color, which we'll come on to in a moment. But that's not my attempt at relicking. That's just where I was trying to get rid of all the black and all the stickers and all the glue and stuff. Now again, being the edgy and cool teenager that I was, this thing's been through the wars. I think I attacked it with some bolt cutters at one point. I set it on fire at one point. I've thrown it off stage a bunch of times because, again, edgy and cool. Edgy and cool. But yeah, it has been through the ringer, and somehow it's still in one piece, and somehow it still plays, and it's still a lot of fun and very nostalgic to play. So the reason I'm doing this video is to share this, but also to kind of document this point of where this guitar is at right now. At the moment, I'm trying to kind of help my daughter be interested in guitar. I'm not pushy. If she wants to find her way into it, then that's great. But she's surrounded by music all the time. She's learning piano at school and she's doing really, really well. But I've always been around and offered the opportunity to teach her, and we've just started with a few little songs that she's asked me to teach her. So we've started learning Come As You Are and Paradise City and a few other little bits and pieces on the guitar. And she's got an acoustic guitar. It's a lovely pink Fender acoustic guitar, 3/4 size thing. It's great, but acoustics are just not that fun to learn on. It's not really what she wants. So she actually quite enjoys playing on these. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guitar, we're going to spray the body, which was always the original plan. We're going to spray it. I'm not going to tell you what color. I'll show you in a future video. And I'm going to try and make this guitar really, really good. I'm going to give it the hardware it deserves for how much it means to me. So we're going to try and put in some really decent hardware, decent pots, get some locking tuners on it. We're going to kind of agu fish it. You know, Hunter, he always throws in really expensive upgrades on cheap guitars. Well, we're going to do that to this really sentimental, I'm gonna say vintage guitar at this point. So check back in a future video, hit the subscribe button down below if you want to be here for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to do it with my daughter. Her name is Avery, and we're going to do it together. She doesn't like being filmed. She doesn't like being on camera, so you won't really see her, and that's okay. That's fine. I don't want her to be on the internet. If she doesn't want to be on the internet, that's not fair. So you won't really see her, so it'll probably look like I'm doing a lot of the work, but she'll be there with me behind the scenes. She always restrings guitars with me, and she loves helping me do maintenance on them and stuff. So we're going to do it together, and then this can be a guitar, a platform for her to learn on if she wants to. And it'll always be a fun kind of thing that we will have done together. So I'm really looking forward to it. I want to hear from you in the comments down below. Do you still have your first guitar? I've got so many friends that don't have their first guitar still, and I kind of feel a bit lucky in a way that my first guitar was such a nothing guitar, no brand name, nothing, that it was never worth anything to sell it. Because when I've been in a pinch financially before, I have sold guitars. I think we all have been there. We've all been in that position where we've gone, okay, I need to sell a guitar. I need a new pedal board, so I need to sell a guitar or whatever. This one was never worth selling, so it's never crossed my mind to sell it. I think if I did sell it, it'd be worth about 40 quid on Facebook Marketplace. But I'm so happy I've still got it. Have you still got your first guitar? If so, what is it? I'd love to know, because I'm always really interested to know what people started with as their first instruments. Anyway, let's leave it there for today. I'm going to do another video on this. It might be a little series perhaps of all the upgrades that are going in. I'm really looking forward to doing that, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I very much appreciate you being here. If you subscribed, that was super awesome of you, and I look forward to having you here as part of the channel and part of this little community here on YouTube, and hopefully I'll catch you again in another video very, very soon. Take care till then. In a bit.